Good. You have people who watching for good intent. You have people who watching for bad intent and for ill intentions. I didn't know it was happening to me until I returned back to a certain place and they tried to say that I created and I was bashing. Make sure that when you get your blessing, the right people benefiting. You don't want your blessing to get contaminated because you giving it to the people who ain't even supposed to be there. There's a reason
Who's
why
destroying your blessing.
Just right. You that's why there's always a cutting away, a pruning before your blessing comes. So only the right people who's supposed to benefit off of that, whether it's for that time and that season, are always supposed to benefit, are always there.
Welcome back. Hot topic. Read all about it. Well, in your case, listen all about it. Watch all about it. You know, they're laughing at me. Anyways, we cut off that first video because we wanted to have a very serious conversation. Odette, why don't you bring them back to what really we're going to be talking about?
That whole introduction, I'm sorry, that takes me back. This is what our relationship friendship, because people hear relationship and think something else. But yes, so part one, first of all, let's give you a recap of part one. Was my friend of just about 15 years. Talked about we're getting old people. A little bit about Benton, who he is. He's now finally doing his tech work. He asked about me. He talked about, what else did we talk about? Me now wanting to do a podcast and the purpose of it, my spiritual walk. And now we are on part two, where we left off was talking about reaching to the top and your circle, your friends, who's going to help push you when you get to the top, who you're going to give credit to. Are those going to be the ones you help take up with you? And the point that I wanted to make, and I said, yep, we're going to have to do a part two, was knowing who's in your circle for the long run and not for short term. Because you have those people, I think, that I feel like I've experienced it. And I think I just basically told you about it off camera. I feel like you have those people who try to keep you like at arm's length because they know you're doing something, but they're waiting for your big break so that they could say, oh, I was always there, but then, you know, they weren't really your friend. They just was there to just be, I don't want to say opportunist, but that may be too harsh, I don't know. Maybe.
Harsh or not, to an extent, that's what it is.
Okay. So,
and per se, there's not always something wrong with that. You know, we're always looking for an opportunity to improve or to get something out of life. It's just a matter of how we conduct waiting on that opportunity. Yeah. You know? But yeah.
So that was, and as I started to tell him off camera, like, I felt like through the years, I've been cutting away at certain things, certain friendships. Again, time and season. There's a season to have people in your life and a time where you have to cut them off. And I feel like I've done a lot of that, but then I still feel like, I guess there's still more cutting away to do. I guess the Lord will have to direct me on those ones and cutting off a bit, but yeah. I think that's one thing I'm always afraid of about meeting new people and having friends. You don't know who's really there for you in the long run. Like, you have a lot of people who say, I know a lot of people, but I don't have a lot of friends. And that's the truth. I think that's it I feel like that's me. I know a lot of people. I feel like I have more acquaintances than to say you is my friend. Like, you're someone I could go to every day. Like, again, the famous Jodeci and Benjamin Franklin over here, they were like my everyday people. I almost felt like they were my person. Like, Benton was my person. Jodeci was like my person. And no, I don't mean like relationship wise, but more so like they were the people I know I could go to and talk about just about any and everything. It wasn't coming back to me from somebody else. It wasn't like I don't even know what to call it, but like they were the people I could go to. So once like we all shifted into our different lives and season, because he started to tell me some things, you know, that's going on with him now, and I'm just like, okay. I'm like, okay. We're not gonna put all his business out there, even though we're kind of being transparent. But yeah, I was just like, okay. He was telling the truth, though. He's not married yet, but he was telling the truth. He's not married. But yeah.
And sorry, now just to pinpoint something you were talking about earlier, with it comes to people and you know, knowing who you should carry moving forward and all that.
Can't pray about it.
It's a very hot topic that I'm going to add into this as well. Is know your place in people's lives. And
you have to know your place.
And that's not to say that, you know, you're doing it like bad, or you know, they have malicious reasons. It's just the fact that once we start to cling on to people, a lot of times we tend to
put them on a high pedestal.
It's not even, I mean, yes, absolutely,
yes.
But along with that, we're also thinking of end goal with that person, you know, what they could mean to us, period, or what they could mean to us overall, when we don't really get time to look at them and view them in the season that they're in, right? And y'all may last forever, y'all may be friends or relationships, whatever it may be, until the end, but you gotta weather the storm with them at that moment to know if they're going to be there or not. You know, some people are acquaintances and they probably will never make it past that point, and that's okay. Some people may be friends and you may have to push them back to acquaintances, and that's okay. Both of those could turn into family out of nowhere, and that's okay too. It's just a matter of not trying to push people into positions, not trying to put people into boxes before they know they themselves are in those boxes with you.
Let's use the reference of football. You use basketball, I like football. You know that person's a quarterback, keep them as a quarterback. Why are you trying to make them a what, front liner? That's a position, right? Yeah.
Linebacker.
Linebacker.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to make your quarterback a linebacker? Keep them as your quarterback.
No, seriously, that's like me saying I want Tom Brady to, you know, cover my line. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. We're not going to win. Period.
Why you want LeBron James to why you want him to play football when he's good at basketball?
Well, he probably could play football.
He's too tall for that. Stop it. You are more of a football person. Look at your height alone. Come on.
That's how we've called me short, by the way. And as she was gaslighting earlier and Bart won't talk, but I was not that short. But I digress. No,
but let's be real. I feel like football players, they reach a certain height and that's it. Like you don't see like really like tall.
I mean, you're right, because of the physicality of the sport itself. And height adds extra pressure onto your body. So
I'm calling you a pit bull. Rough.
Moving on. But yeah. So, and just to reference video 1 for a bit, I don't want people to misunderstand.
We'll put the link in the description box below.
I don't want people to
add those details.
That's fair. While you may have heard me said that if you get to that point in the top and you don't see nobody around you, that means that you may have failed yourself. I don't want people to misconstrue that and think that I'm saying that, hey, if that's your friend or that's your people, you know, bring them with you until the end. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't misunderstand me. If anyone can tell you who knows me, I'm very okay with cutting anybody off. That's part of life.
Facts.
But
without a warning.
Part of life. But again, that's part of understanding who you want in your life and securing who you want in your life.
Those are the people who actually help to make you and help you with your purpose. Actually, those are the ones who are going to feed you, who are going to push you, to be honest.
And at some point, there will always be people in your life. It may be new people. Some people may stay, you know, whatever it may be. But the reality is there will always be somebody in your corner that you should be paying attention to as you move up. because you need to know whether that person needs to be replaced, be moved to something else in your life, while you focus on improving and meeting people where you want to improve.
And you also have those people who have been in your corner from day one. They have not switched up. They have been there. Y'all may have disconnected for a bit, but they're still there. You still want to pay attention to them, because when you make it up to the top, you still want to be able to say, hey, you want to be able. Don't share your blessing with the people who ain't supposed to be there. Only give your blessing to the people who's supposed to be there. You may have a blessing that's for you, but guess what? You distributing it to the wrong people. So before God could even, and I'm sorry to make this but sorry, this is just how I'm looking at life now, even today. Make sure that when you get your blessing, the right people benefiting. You don't want your blessing to get contaminated because you giving it to the people who ain't even supposed to be there. There's a reason why.
Destroying your blessing.
Just right. That's why there's always a cutting away, a pruning before your blessing comes. So only the right people who's supposed to benefit off of that, whether it's for that time and that season, are always supposed to benefit, are always there. And that's just the truth.
Everyone doesn't need to water the garden. Some people are just here to see it. Look at the pretty flowers,
Don't pick on my petal. You could water. You could watch.
Yeah.
You could be like a little bumblebee, little rest, and then poof.
Yeah, and to add the concept of the bumblebee.
I like that analogy.
No, and just to add a little more context to it a bit, some people will just come to take from your garden, and that's also a part of it. They may not put nothing in it. They may not add no necessary value in it, but they come to take from it, and they probably are going to nurture something else, which is a part of life. Life doesn't build without ideas and things being shared, sometimes unintentionally, and it isn't always malicious, obviously, but it's something that happens.
And who knows, maybe you just decided to bless that person and tell them, hey, whatever you do, it is your business, but here's my seed to you.
And a big topic of understanding that I'm trying to help a lot of people close to me understand when it comes to everyday life. A lot of people may think that they can't be hacked, and stuff like that, because they don't have enough money to be considered a threat. They're not that important. But there's always someone watching you. There's always someone in a more worse position than you that wants what you have, and you could take that aspect of thinking into every part of life. Like, you may think that what you're doing is so small, but someone's looking at that and say, "Ooh, that's great. I know what I could take from that. Let me see what I could take from that and move on and make something bigger for myself." Yeah. And it don't matter. You may not be a household name. I may say your name in someone's house, and they may say, "Who?" But that don't matter. Someone's out there watching you, for good or for worse.
Yeah. Remember, people are always watching. You have people who are watching for good intent. You have people who are watching for bad intent and for ill intentions. I didn't know it was happening to me until I returned back to a certain place, and they tried to say that I created, and I was bashing. And the only response that I had to the people who genuinely cared, I said, well, if anyone knows me and anyone actually watched it in its entirety, I didn't do any form of bashing. But because sometimes when people hear your name in a room, it scares people. It actually intimidates people when your name get called. And you may be like, oh, little old me, I do nothing. But to other people, that's a threat, babe. That is a threat. And that happened. People were watching, but people watch what they want to watch, so they could pick and make something negative out of it. So you have to know who is praying for you and who is praying
against you.
Praying against you. Yeah. So, any more deep questions you have for me?
So on your journey,
On my journey.
on where you stand now, how do you distinguish who needs to be in your life? Obviously, you talk to God about it, and there's a spiritual side, but I'm trying to understand. I want the people to understand. How do you know when it's time for someone to exit your life, when their season is done, and when someone's season is starting?
I go through it and I can never give an actual answer. I think I just know. Unfortunately, I think I just kind of know. I think it comes with like discernment. Again, you really have to be in tune. Okay. Like the person I was talking about off camera. So it was the individual I was talking about with him off camera, and I was explaining to him like how I felt, and the only way that I can answer that question is by using them as an example. And I think when it came to that particular individual, there are signs that you look for. So for example, I felt like when you feel like you're more of a friend to them than they are to you, that's definitely a sign to look for. It's almost like they need help, they need advice. You're always there. If they call you, you answering, like you there. 911, hey, what's up? I riding with you. But when the rules are reversed and you need help, you need someone to talk to, you need someone you could turn around to, and they're not there, they're not given the same energy, or it's not being reciprocated, then that's a red flag. Like, okay, like time to go. And you know the difference between when you have a friend who is busy and a friend who just using you for convenience. Because I could almost say, like, if I maybe was to call Benton maybe a few weeks ago and I said I needed help, even if he couldn't directly help me, he probably could have sent someone to help me. Even if it wasn't him directly. I feel like that's safe to say.
Yeah.
He would have tried. If I came to him with a message, hey, I want you to look at this quick. Would you think of this idea? Benton now. He's saying, hey, listen, sorry just answering you, but hey, this is what you should do, da-da-da-da. Then he'd probably be like, what's the reason of this? Okay, cool, I think it's a good idea. Make sure I do this. Boom. Vice versa. I think it's safe to say. But like I said, with the person I was telling you about, like it wasn't, to me, they were just like keeping me at arm's length. They always had an excuse. So for you guys who I guess want to know, like, there are signs after you pray about it. Trust me, I feel like one of the quickest prayers that you could pray and it gets answered instantly is when you just say, hey, like, is this someone I should keep around or not? You could. Now sometimes we choose to ignore signs, we do, but you know, I think you just know. I think you know. And after a while, you just get tired. And when you see you getting tired and you getting fed up with that person, before you explode on them, I think ain't no beef, no nothing. I just respect myself enough, and I know where you have me. And clearly, while I have you up here, you had me down here, and I need to put you here too. And if that means y'all two don't talk no more, y'all don't communicate, no beef, no nothing, then bye. There's no beef. And some people take that as beef. Some people carry a lie, some people carry it as a narrative, and to be honest, that's not it. Y'all just grew apart. There's no issue. If you treat me like a stranger, I treat you like a stranger. If you want to say hi, I say hi. What you give, you get back. What I give, I get back.
That's fair. That's very fair. You think about it holistically.
I to be honest with you, I don't feel like I keep. I think I have more acquaintances than anything. I don't really keep friends like that. I don't think I do.
No, I get what you're saying.
I don't think I do.
It's crazy for me. I may not have as much of a loud personality as you. When I say loud, again, I'm not saying that you're a loud person. Just in the whole expressive realm of it all.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest part of it was, I think my harshest reality is battling when to push people out versus when to allow people in. And my default has always been to, you know, push them out, because if I feel any type of way, I like, okay, I don't need that around me. And realizing that from in my experiences, sometimes people mess up, but the important part of it is knowing when they messed up, hoping that they know they messed up, and from there finding a way to understand that this is something y'all need to continue, or y'all need to go your separate ways.
And that goes for any type of ship.
Yeah.
Any type of ship. By the way, if you guys see me scratching and doing this, it's mosquito time. Like, I'm getting attacked left, right, and center. He seems to not be getting attacked. I don't know why. But I'm getting attacked. But yes, that goes for any ship. Friendship, relationship, family ship. Any other ship? Work
Every
ship. Any ship.
The captain and the navigator got to be on the same path, or
Hello?
ship ain't going nowhere.
Hello? Don't let them cross water get in your boat.
That too.
Y'all know the story of Jonah? When he probably tell the people them, yeah, I know why we in a storm, because of me. Y'all could toss me out, because I know that's the problem. Toss that sucker out. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Jonah knew he was the problem. Some people just know they're the problem, you know. They just wait for you to call them out. Some people just don't want to just walk out. They want you to release them.
The funny thing is, not even just that. Some people know they're the problem, but they also don't know if that's a problem for you. Because them being a problem doesn't mean that it's a problem for you. You may like that problem, right? And you may not think that's the problem that you need to have out of your life. So a lot of times we have to stand up for ourselves, right? And we have to understand that sometimes, even if someone can see that they may not be the best for you, they also see that you seem comfortable with it, or you seem okay. And everyone isn't going to think from another perspective to say that, or maybe they're just doing that because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Sometimes they just simply see it as you're okay with it. And unless you're willing to end up in those tough conversations with other people because you need to stand up for yourself, a lot of times you're going to be in positions where you don't need to be.
And this is where it comes in with relationships too. Like, you in a relationship, and sometimes, like they say, you gotta lose me to know what you have. And sometimes it works out for people. They do get back together. For some, they don't know what they have until it's gone.
Yeah.
You gotta know. And like they say, you just gotta know your worth. You gotta know your value. You have to know what you stand for and what you're willing to take. Because if you love yourself enough, you wouldn't let no one disrespect you. So if that means you gotta walk away, then you gotta walk away. Don't let no one disrespect you. Listen, no, I'm no one to have you thinking you's a stinking donkey you could ride on.
Boy.
The only donkey you need to be a donkey for is Jesus. And that's when he is walking through Palm Sunday. That's the only donkey you need to be. Other than that, don't be a donkey.
And you know the funny thing about it, it's easy to be that donkey, you know.
Unfortunately.
No, because
you don't even realize when you fall into the trap of being a donkey.
Yeah, because sometimes you get so caught up into just trying to get things done.
Yeah.
Even at work, sometimes, you know that you're doing more than you need to be doing, but if you don't do it, it ain't getting done, right?
And still accepting the same
a lot of times people use that against you because they know you can complain about things every day.
And
but the reality is,
you still
can get it done.
You still can get it done.
Your department don't have enough people to operate. Okay, cool.
We understand that. Shit? My God.
But, no, because I was in that position. Like,
no, facts.
They know your department needs maybe 5 more people, but hey, y'all getting the job done, right? I have to call you up for nothing.
Exactly.
Not only y'all getting the job done, y'all getting it done effectively. So, do y'all really need those extra 5 people?
No, but guess what? Now is your time to stand up on that job and be like, hey, listen, it's evaluation time.
Yeah.
Y'all not bringing in another person? I can need to be compensating because now I'm really working I'm sorry to say it like this, but I'm really working my ass off now. It's only the 2 of us. Like, we pushing this workout, we getting it done, but like, hey, certain things just ain't gonna stick. And if y'all are not going to compensate, all y'all bosses out there, if y'all ain't can compensate, then y'all need to bring in a 3rd person. Why bring in a 3rd person and pay a 3rd person when y'all can split that money for a 3rd person between the 2 that there, or the 4 that there, or the 5?
Still can probably spend less money.
And they still can spend less money.
Because it's just crazy to think about. because
it's happening. It's happening in jobs.
And I know
all
a lot of
around.
people are actually feeling it, and I actually know what we're talking about
Yes.
in that regard, because everyone has been in a position where, you know, your higher ups are saying, yes, we know that you're tired, you know, we know that you're giving it your all, and your best has not gone unnoticed, but somehow.
But here's the Domino's pizza.
Yeah, if you get all that.
If you even get that.
They might just send a pamphlet saying thank you and back to
Some people don't even get that. You just get rewarded more work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's leave that right there.
Yeah.
Let's leave that right there. Yeah.
It isn't until you stand up for yourself and you see the peace that comes with standing up for yourself until you understand that you made the right decision. And even in
sometimes it's gonna hurt and it's gonna come with grief.
Yeah, sometimes immediately you don't see it because you feel out of the loop in a sense, you know? Especially if you're someone like me that came from this high intensity workflow every day, you know? Couldn't get a break. People calling me on my regular cell phone, my personal cell phone for work at all hours of the day, you know? And everyone just cared about what they needed to do. And don't get me wrong, I've made some valuable connections in that process, and I'm appreciative for a lot of the people I came into contact with in that time. But
you don't know someone who gave me a piece of property?
I don't know, maybe. Well, I don't know. But yeah.
Them government homes, because it look like these people don't be putting in no application. They just can't use.
Anything is possible, but not to.
And not for the people in government sector. I mean private sector.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah, no, not to go too far off the point, but like there's, like she said, there will be grief in some of those choices. Well, when you first on the other side, you're looking at it like, oh, why did I leave? Like, you're just seeing things now like, oh, this isn't happening anymore. I kind of like this, but this came with that, and that is what you don't want anymore. So like there's a learning curve where you just gotta suck it up, and
you have to knowing what you want
and standing on what you want,
standing 10 toes,
knowing that, hey, this is about to be an uncomfortable ride, but this is a ride you need to take.
10 toes.
Yeah.
Do you have your 10 toes?
Like,
they're wiggling.
Think so.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right.
I don't count that high.
10 toes, people. 10 toes.
But yeah.
Okay, so Benjamin, I have a question for you. You've been asking me plenty of questions, but you've also been elaborating a lot yourself. But what is something... So 2 actually, because you've known me for a very long time. Almost 15 years, people. Let's emphasize the 15 years now.
Please don't.
Huh?
Every day I wake up with some type of pain that I don't want to stand anymore. Please don't.
And I older than you. That's the crazy part.
And the point, man. Talking about me right now.
Take it easy in the gym. You probably lifting too heavy now.
That's a conversation for another day.
All right, then. So that means that is part of the problem. But a question for you. What is something that you would like me to succeed in with this platform, whether it is fully the pot, Bloom with Azalea on the whole and the party? And what is a change that you feel like you've noticed, even though we have not been in, like, you know, I'm sure you'll be stalking and watching every once in a while, and every once in a while, you know, we send a message or whatever. What is something that you think, like, as a friend and someone, again, 15 years, like what is something? I do ask my friends this because I feel like I try to like make those. I try one, and then those who are closest to me, even though it's hard and I do struggle, like, it is not easy, guys. Like, it's not easy being Odette, you know, it's not easy being Azalea. But like, yeah. I always try to make y'all proud, even if I don't. So I feel like that's why I add so much pressure on myself.
That's fair. You're speaking to the choir there. But something I want to see.
Don't run out now. But run out.
No, it's pretty something simple, but it's also not simple. I want to see you more active. No, seriously. Because you're right. I am someone who may not say something every day or may not even acknowledge it all the time, but I'm always watching. Damn, that sounds stalkerish.
You
Bad.
You watch you.
That's crazy, but that's fine.
I'm watching.
That's
you.
me. There's nothing that don't pass me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I'll give you your flowers. You have improved. You have done your effort of trying to stay consistent and putting more stuff out, but I need to see more. We hear the goals which you want. We hear where you're trying to go, but we need to see that duplicated in effort. And I'm not just talking about the effort you put in your head, the effort you put into planning, and the effort you
mean no matter how
the pressure you're putting on yourselves. I want to see the output. I want to see output, even if it's 2-minute videos, 30-second videos every day, just with something, guidance, something. Go back to find your niche and find something to talk about with that niche every day if you have to.
I have some stuff. That's the crazy thing. I think that's the
and
blockage right now for me is I need to get out of my head. Like,
and
for
that's
real,
my
for
point.
real.
You have all these great thoughts in your mind, but only you could hear them. And if only you could hear them, who cares?
God.
Nobody's going to know you if you are only focusing on, having those thoughts in your head. Like, sometimes you have to talk out loud. You have to talk out loud. You have to let someone hear what you plan, and sometimes people give you perspectives unintentionally sometimes.
Okay.
Some things you don't think you need sometimes. Hell, now they have me doing a little rotation of work where I'm working with different IT sections, right? Networking, stuff like that.
I saw you had one little council thing with your water and your notepad. I think that was you.
Oh no, that's a cybersecurity seminar. But
Right.
yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I still hate networking to this day, God. But at the same time,
benefits.
you get valuable knowledge
Yeah.
that you could put back into what you're doing that you may have not thought about before that, right? So I'm not saying to you start telling everybody your business, God knows, because I don't think I'll ever reach that point. But the people in those areas around you that you talk to, even if it's not in a very direct form, even if you're just shooting the breeze and certain conversations come up and you bring up certain types of things, like say you're talking about a podcast or whatever, hear how people feel about those things, because that will also help you grasp your brand and how you need to reach people, because you will never know how to target sounds bad, but you will never know how to reach people unless you talk to people. How you see how they respond to certain things. And so I want to see you out there more, and I know, as simple as that is, I know that's a big thing to do, right?
Especially in this economy.
You're right. You can never debate that. Never. But all those big dreams that you just had, they are the two. It's documented. Nah, it's cemented. What one of the names? B. Simone and Zatima, whatever.
Crystal Renee from Satima.
Yeah, that. Okay. Either way, how you gonna get them there? I'm not asking you that now. I'm just saying.
Oh, because I'm about to say now, nigga.
What steps are you making to put yourself in a position for that to be possible, right? You gotta be out there. You have to be. And again, it may not be in the way I'm saying it right now, but you gotta put yourself out there more, just so that your name could be known in some light.
The other part of the question. What was
what was the other part of the
question? Yeah, like growth wise, have like change notices or anything?
Or anything I've seen that changed, noticed? You're much more comfortable talking in front of a camera. I'll give you that for sure.
Yeah.
And not in the general aspect of just coming in front of the camera. It's just the way you operate now in front of that camera that has improved, where you seem more confident in what you want to do, even if you don't know what you're going to do next. And just, the whole ambiance of it all has improved. Why you look at me like that? I know big words.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's crazy that you say that.
Why is it?
I've received my flowers, though. I do accept my flowers. Thank you. I do accept my flowers. What color are my flowers?
Purple.
And my toes. See? My toes are purple right now, guys. All right. Well, y'all heard it here first, guys. More TikToks, more reels, more videos, even if they're just 2 minutes, a minute, 30 seconds. I do
10 seconds.
10 seconds. I think that's too short, man. That's too short. You gotta be 60 seconds at least. But
okay, more 60 seconds, thanks.
But I do miss like recording and writing and doing my videos. But I only told one friend this. I guess I'll share it, guys, with you since we're on the topic. I had this dream. Now, I'm scared to say this was the one man who had a dream they kill him. But it's true. Oh Lord, I'm sorry. I am sorry. But dark humor. But
Stuff order. It's stuff order.
I get bite up like crazy. But no, for real. I had this dream before, and this lady was like talking to me like across the table. And I told her, I said, like, listen. It was like she was talking to me, and she was talking about everything else. And I just said, what about me? It was like she wasn't worried about me. Like, to me, what I got from the dream, she was like, it was almost like she was telling me, like, you got it handled. You got it figured out. Like, you know what you're doing. You doing it, right? But I said to her, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Can you imagine what the response was from the lady in my dream? I take one lucky guess, what you think she said to me?
I know, but I'm intrigued.
Maybe you're doing too much.
You know the funny thing about that?
I woke up so quick.
You know the funny thing about it?
Sometimes
She's probably absolutely right.
But this is what I'm saying, because sometimes I feel like I'm doing too, it's always the people who doing too much who feel like they ain't doing enough.
And again, jack of all trades, master of none. You're doing so much that you don't get time to focus and get intimate with any one or two things.
And you know, now that I'm talking to you about it, and even though we're doing it on camera, oh my God, I feel like just thinking about that dream right now, I feel like because I started to lose hope in this and all of this, I started to try to focus on other stuff.
That happens.
And I think that happened. You know, a lot of people like to say find balance. You got people saying they go to bed at 8 o'clock, but they waking up at 3 o'clock. Then they go into the gym for 4 o'clock. They come back home at 5. Then they make breakfast. Then they have meditation. Then they get ready for work. Go to work for 9. Come home at 5. Then they doing this. Then they doing that. And then they do the cycle over again. That's a lot. That's freaking a lot. And you have me here. 9 to 5 job. I'm back in school. And then still wanting to do this. And then was, you know, the photography thing and all that stuff is like, okay, Odette, you gotta pick one, which one you really want to focus on right now. You can still do your pictures, but
absolutely
take a step back, take 2 steps
again
back,
we're not linear creatures. I'm not even saying that we need to just do one thing for the rest of our lives. Understand that things come in seasons, things should be done in seasons, but on the side of that, understanding that you cannot become in tune with something until you actually secluded everything else from it.
Yeah.
Until you have that one thing in front of you, and that's the only thing you see.
I will say though, in full transparency between you and I and the viewers of this sample party, I do miss like really like sitting down on my laptop and writing and then recording I miss actually calling you and being like, Benjamin, I need pictures. But I feel like I was getting on your nerves with that. That's why I kind of stopped too, to be honest with you. Like in full transparency, I think you was getting tired of it, and I just tried to figure out a way to just take my thumbnails myself. And that's why a lot of my thumbnails look the way they do, are just sitting in the grass, and I just take a couple shots and call it a day. And I feel like it kind of works. But I feel like Benton... No. I feel like Benton was doing it because he really, really was like helping me. Like he really has been there like pushing me, like he really was. And I feel like that's why he didn't tell me no. I could be wrong.
You're not right or wrong. Again, I'm someone, if I needed to say no, I would have said no.
You're right.
But the reality is,
you're right,
it's something you wanted to do and you needed help with. The crazy thing about you having that thought in your head was you started to find ways to do it on your own. You found things that worked for you in that process.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what you were talking about a little earlier when we said we kind of relied on each other so much that we didn't give ourselves time to think about what we could do ourselves.
And grow. I promise you, I used to rely on them a lot for a lot of things. Not like in a bad way, but like we used to rely on each other. Like I actually learned to like go out by myself, you know, like a mosquito on your foot and I just want to slap it so bad.
You ain't gonna abuse me.
You were going like this and it just moved off. But I've learned to do like, I think I've learned to do a lot of things by myself, like go out by myself if I need to. Like I still don't do it a lot, but like like listen, ladies out there who like know what it is to just have guy friends, and then when they find a distance and stuff, and you just learn to just I see why some men is getting mad when they say, man, she's too independent for me, man. Like, she just know how to do things for herself. Like, how are you comfortable doing blah, 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 blah by yourself? No.
Well, that don't bother me, but I digress.
Sure. Well, you was a normal human. You're not a robot. You have a brain. That could be a topic. Oh, that could be a topic with me, you and Joe to see. Woman.
That's actually going to be a very interesting conversation. Because as alike as me and Joe to see how we all think about things kind of differently.
Yeah, y'all do.
So that'll be a very interesting conversation.
So that may start a war. I don't know. We got to sit in a circle for that. With lemonade.
Yes.
I call Mavis for my lemonade and probably want pizza. But I want the people here chewing on the mic.
Carbs? So, nah.
No carbs?
No, I'm on a fast this month anyway.
No, you're not eating at all?
Crackers, maybe some cheese.
Intermediate faster. Intermediate for me. I probably I give myself a window to eat, and then once that window goes, that's it.
Now I'm a go big or go home type of guy.
No, I did that. But because like I started to feel so tired and drained from like going to the gym every day. That's why I started to
For me to plan to do this, I had to literally change my entire gym routine for this month.
Yeah.
To be a little lighter while still doing enough to make sure that I'm doing what I need to in the gym.
You look good, Bo.
Trying.
You look good. You look good. I lost the weight, and then around my birthday, I put on the weight.
Yeah, I'm back in I put on some weight. Part of it now I need to lose. Yeah. Again.
I started to lose. I looked at the photo I took from a funeral I had a funeral last week. And I looked at the picture and I say, oh yeah, I lost. Oh, look at me.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Well, guys, I think this is it. If y'all want Benjamin to come on again, let me know. Now that we know that he's the one who's going to be... If y'all see me putting up more videos again, just know this. He's probably slapping me in the back of my head like, hey,
it's
week 1, where the video? It's week 2, where the video? Like, what's going on? Like, this guy right here, one of the main ones. Y'all, as the weeks go, I don't know how this is gonna go, but as the time goes, I guess you guys will see other people on here who matter to me. Let me not say matter, because I feel like, anyway, I wouldn't say matter, but people who I do, you know, you may see some special guests if I can get some on. Who knows? I know if I could get my blood on. I don't know if I'll get my sister on. Probably not. Doubt it. That's a big doubt. What talking we talking about?
I know. I'll take some convincing.
It ain't gonna happen. I don't think so. But Guys, this was fun. Like I said, this was very different. Oh, that was that Penny? Yeah, that was. Josh, she coming to row you. So as this camera turn off, she can stop barking again.
I just be vibing. I ain't even doing nothing else for
You know?
you. She ain't barking at me this time, though.
Yet. But guys, this was fun. I hope you guys liked part 2 of this video. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comments. Let me know what all you guys want. You have any social media handles you want them to know about? He said mainly LinkedIn.
Yeah. I'm journeying into my nerd life, and I'm solely focused on my LinkedIn right now. Most of those other social media are really just there. They just there
to stalk me, make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
That's not entirely wrong, but not exactly. It's just about of keeping in contact with everyone, even if I don't talk to them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So guys, Benton Bar, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Thank you. You guys, you know me. To all my new ones, if this is your first time, hi, my name is Azalea, but it's known as Blooming with Azalea. And you can follow me everywhere at Blooming with Azalea. My website is bloomingwithazalea.com, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever, Blooming with Azalea. So I will see you guys next time, whether it's on something like this again or a solo video. So I love you all. Keep blooming. Bye. Any final words before you go?
Stay safe.
Final moments. Oh, let me put this into practice now. What's your vibe today?
My vibe?
What is your energy? What is your vibe?
I'm chill, honestly. Sundays are really my relaxed day of just mentally preparing for tomorrow. Today is not as relaxed, let me be honest. I've been telling about this little project I'm doing on the side, a little bit of threat intelligence gathering. I probably will post on LinkedIn the next couple of days, but yeah, I have gotten out of my relaxation for the day because I'm trying to finish that up. But for the most part, I want to say Sundays are my relaxation days. But today I want to say my vibe is curious.
Curious vibes.
Yeah, trying to figure out things, trying to understand why they're happening and why they work the way they do.
I like
so
that.
Curious, yeah.
So today's vibe is curious vibes. I like that.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious. You got me curious on these curiosity things.
Yeah, don't worry. I may come back one day just to talk some nerd talk, but not right now. Oh yeah. There's always going to be someone that's interested.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. We're going to have them. So guys, we will see you all next time.